Welcome to a debate of the week before we get Double or Nothing. I thought I'd make this before Double or Nothing just to give you guys something extra just before this pay-per-view comes out tonight. Because this is being done around 1 to 2, no, about almost 2:30 today. And I was just thinking because I just saw JD NYC and he spoke about what's going on with... I have been thinking about this for a while because I know. Look, there's almost no one going between brands in large quantities, at least until the wild card rule has been reenacted, the Invitational. I can't remember the exact naming for it. I believe it's another Invitational. And you got AJ Styles, who's a Raw guy, trying to fight for a SmackDown IC title, which now he's not going to worry about Raw because he's now been moved to SmackDown, due to the fact that the writers have no idea what to do with him, and that's due to Vince. This is all Vince's fault. And I gotta say this. Honestly, this is a cluster F. I know I could say the nasty word, but I thought I'll hold back a little bit until the middle of this video because I'm gonna start cursing my ass off a little bit. But let me put it to you in this respect. For the last 3 years, and I could even go beyond that, 13 years, the WWE has made such bad decisions in their booking, their character development, and who they push with the booking and character development. It has been so bad. Roman Reigns is done. Whenever he returns, he is going to be an undercarder. And he will be loved when people first see him. But Vince has a vindictive personality that when you piss him off, he will fuck you over in his company. He don't care. So by Roman Reigns trying to protect himself from getting sick because of leukemia, and obviously he is thinking about the people in the roster itself, because everybody understands that no one in the WWE during this crisis wanted to work a live show. Nobody wanted to work it because, simply put, one, they're not going to make the same money. Two, they're going to get sick and take it back to their families. So when Roman did what he did, he basically became blacklisted by the WWE's biggest boss, biggest mark, and biggest asshole, Vince McMahon. So right now, it could be, we're understanding that Drew McIntyre could be the next Roman Reigns. They may push him just as much as Roman. The question is going to be how badly he's going to be hated when they finally get fans in the arenas again. That's going to be the question. Or would they love him no matter what? There's a very good chance they will hate him once the fans get in the arenas, because right now the only thing they can do is just boo on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and that's it. Vince ain't going to care about that unless he sees it in the stands. And even then he doesn't care. I don't know why I said that. But you get my point. Seeing this situation with the WWE is stupid. But here's the thing that infuriates me. Because I saw JD NYC's video. Because I didn't watch SmackDown. I thought I'd at least figure out what has happened. And he talked about how you had Asuka, who's now champ. I already knew that, because Becky's now out due to being pregnant. And you got a Charlotte Flair, who's supposed to be an NXT star, going to Raw, trying to challenge for the Raw Women's title. And now you're going to have the possibility of her now also being on SmackDown, even though she got beat by Bayley, where she's not going anywhere. And I don't agree with JD. Yes, Bayley's being kept with that title, but I do not see Bayley and Sasha having a feud whatsoever, because if they were going to have the feud, it should have happened already. And if it does happen, it's garbage. It's not a good built story. It's not a good built feud, and I don't see it happening. If it does happen, it's going to be garbage. But this goes beyond that. How badly they booked Sasha, who should have been champ already and has not been champ because she's being given the piece of shit to taste and like it. Then you got Bayley, who's legitimately working hard to make her character, her heel character, interesting, and she's done a decent job. But she's not getting anywhere because she has no real challengers to make her look even better. Then you got the Charlotte Flair, who's right here. And you see what's around her. 3 belts. the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT titles. Is Charlotte Flair getting slated to become the Undisputed Champion of WWE? Let's explore this. You guys know how I feel about Charlotte Flair. And just in case you haven't seen this before and you're seeing me for the first time, how you doing? I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell you how I feel about wrestlers. If they're good or bad. Yeah, I have my favorites. But even if they're my favorite, I'm going to tell you if they've done a good job, if they've done a bad job, or if they are a piece of shit. Naomi Knight, or Naomi from the Usos. I love the woman. She has great talent. She was not good when she first started out. But you can see how emotional she is. Even though she tries not to show it, she shows her emotion. She worked her ass off to become champion. And now look at her. She's doing nothing. And for me, that hurts. But I'm going to be honest. She sucked when she first started out. I'm not going to say she was incredible. She wasn't. Liv Morgan. I like Liv. She sucked when she was doing the Harley Quinn persona. She wasn't perfect. Then Alexa Bliss did it. And then eventually they moved away from that and gave her the dominatrix look, which I thought was really fitting her good until she got her ass whooped by, you guessed it, I don't even need to say her name. So I see what's going on. They got good women that either want to improve or have improved, or some who don't give a damn because they're fine with their position, like a Natalya. Yes, she has incredible skill as a wrestler, but to be honest, because of the booking she's had and her complacentness, she needs to leave the company and go off somewhere else and do something to become more creative because she sucks. I don't hate her because she has an attitude as a bitch. I don't like her and I hate her because not only has the WWE booked her bad, she's complacent now. She's fine where she is. And instead of going beyond that and leaving the company and at least making herself feel good because she's got plenty of money. She's fine. She can go anywhere and still have millions of dollars saved. But she's complacent. And this fits into Charlotte Flair. Let's look at Ashley Flawn before she became Charlotte Flair. If I'm pronouncing the last name, I could be pronouncing it wrong. So you can tell me. But let's make it clear with Charlotte. Charlotte is skilled in the ring to a certain extent. As a 0 to 10, her daddy is a 10. And that's what I put the bookmark, the marking. And this can go for men and women. When it comes to a China, she was an 8 out of 10. That shows how great she was. Trish Stratus was a 9 out of 10. Flat out easy, no problem. She earned it even though she did panties and bra matches. She was a 9 out of 10 because she had a great character and she worked her ass off in the ring. Lita was a 9 out of 10. She worked her ass off and she had a good persona going in the ring. Victoria, to me, when she was in WWE, was a 9.5 out of 10. Because I always liked Victoria. She had a good look, she had a good attitude, and she could go in the ring damn well. I have not seen a 10 out of 10 performer yet. But these are the women that I know I could say Mickie Jane and she's easily an 8 out of 10. Flat out. But when it comes to Charlotte Flair, she's a 5. Now understand, that doesn't mean she ain't a great performer. If she knows how to be able to work the crowd like a Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin, you can compensate for your wrestling work. If you're a great wrestler, but you're not a great performer when it comes to having your character, you can, in certain points, try to compensate for that. Like a Daniel Bryan. He was never a great character. But he worked his ass off in the ring, and he was an 8 out of 10. But then he began to improve his character, and he became a 9.5 to near a 10. I say 9.5 out of 10. Because Ric Flair is 10 out of 10. Not because I love the guy, because he was an all-around worker. He knew how to talk. He knew how to work the ring, how to wrestle. But then he knew how not only to guide the match, but make his partner look like gold. And he also had a good look Guy was muscled out. Now, when you see Charlotte, she does not have all the tools of her father, flat out. Now, I know people are going to say, well, of course, she's not him. But you got to understand, Charlotte Flair is being treated like Rick. There's no lying about this. When it comes to Charlotte Flair, you can't hide the fact that they've been pushing her very heavily because of her father. Now, does she have skill? Yes, she does. But like many children of wrestlers from the past, there have been many wrestlers, like Barry Windham had children. Rick Rotunda is not in the company. He wasn't born into wrestling. Now, has he done well? Going into the next is not that good. But due to the fact that he's married to a star, his wife is one of the greatest singers in the world. Not the greatest, but one of the singers. That's the reason why he's pushed when he was in the Nexus. That's the reason why he still has a job with WWE. Because not only they had a good look, but he was married to a legitimate star. Charlotte Flair is there mainly because of her father. That's the truth. But does she have ability? She has good in-ring ability. There's no lying about that. But she's not her dad. And she's not like many wrestlers that has ever existed. There have been many wrestlers like Bob Backlund. He knew how to be able to work a match. He also knew how to get his opponent over. But did he have great mic skills? No, not in the beginning. He couldn't talk his way out of a paper bag. Not until he went to his 50s. Or late 40s into his 50s, did he begin to work on really showing he had character. Hey, Bob Backlund for president, anybody? That really got over. People liked it. Look what happened with Aaron Young, when he was part of the Primetime Players. Look what happened when he started working with Bob Backlund. He really got over because Bob put him over. There are people who know how to get over even if they're deficient in certain ways. Charlotte is deficient in almost every way. As a ring performer, she only can perform with certain people. Even JD NYC, he said it himself in his own video today he did it last night. Like about 2 or 3 in the morning he uploaded it, I believe. Or this morning, I can't remember. But he said that Bayley and Charlotte have great ring chemistry. They do, because Charlotte has gotten so familiar with her that she feels very comfortable with her, so she can wrestle the right way, at least without hurting herself too much. But when you pair her up with people she does not know how to adapt to, because one of the things people realize with Ric Flair, her father, he has the ability to adapt to almost anyone in the ring. He knew how to work a match. He knew that even if he didn't talk directly with that guy, he knew how to work the match by adjusting himself while the match was going on. Charlotte can't do that. She's just a basic wrestler that in some cases can be good. But she only can work with certain people. Let me name them. Becky, Bayley, Sasha. Now because she's worked with her more than a few times, Asuka. And understand, at WrestleMania, when Asuka and Charlotte faced one another, I know people are going to say, dude, Charlotte was incredible in WrestleMania against Asuka. No. Asuka was incredible wrestling with Charlotte. Asuka has more years as a pro wrestler than Charlotte. And I'm being honest here. Charlotte, she's got a couple of years now under her belt, but she's not as polished as Asuka. Asuka has wrestled many people. She's wrestled Japanese female wrestlers. She's wrestled Japanese female... I'm getting angry here, calm. She's wrestled Japanese women. She's wrestled Japanese men. And I'm sure she's wrestled American as well as Canadian and Mexican wrestlers in Japan. She's had more exposure to different types of wrestlers than Charlotte has. So when WrestleMania came around, it was Asuka who made the match work. That's the God honest truth. And I'm not Christian, but I'm saying it like that. You got to understand, this is not about how great Charlotte is. Charlotte's not great. She's good. She's a good wrestler. Sometimes she can get really good. if she's with the right person that she can really have chemistry with. But when she's with people who doesn't have good chemistry, she cannot adapt and she hurts herself or she hurts someone she's working with. When she was with Ruby Riott, before she went out because of a double shoulder surgery, she wrestled with her a couple of times. And I can tell you 100%, I've seen those matches. Ruby had no choice but to not only pick up the slack for Charlotte, but to actually sell so much it looked so forced, so bad. It made the match look stupid. And I'm being honest here. So, I know I can go further than this. Like, with her promo skills are not good. Her mic work with that promo skills is even worse. She really doesn't, she cannot fit into a good persona. She's not good as a face and she's not good as a heel. So, covering this, what are we really talking about in this debate of the week? This is about her becoming Undisputed Champion of not Raw, not SmackDown, but NXT. This is my thoughts. We now know, because Becky had to leave because she was maybe about a month or two, maybe 3 months pregnant. Don't know. She might have been 1 to 3 months pregnant. No, 1 or 2 months pregnant. It's a good possibility. So I would say I'm glad for her. Being a mother, that's a big deal to some people. And if she can handle it, I'll be happy for her. But now, the void had to be filled with Asuka. So Asuka is now the champion of Raw. And she has no general competition. You got Natalya and Nia Jax about to face one another to eventually face with Charlotte, I believe, to try and see who's going to have the right to go up against Asuka for that title. And the thing that gets me, since the time Ripley lost that title, Charlotte has gone to Raw, gone to SmackDown, and back to NXT. And again, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Not in that order, but you get my point. She appears on Raw Monday. She goes to NXT Wednesday. She goes to SmackDown Friday, and then back to Raw. She's supposed to be the NXT title holder and only be on NXT, and she's not. Why? It's simple. Charlotte has done everything a woman can do in the company. She has, well, almost, because she hasn't done the tag title thing yet. But essentially, she has been Raw Women's Champion multiple times. She's been SmackDown Women's Champion multiple times. Now she's a, I believe, 2-time NXT Champion. But what does that give her next? Unless she teams up with someone to get the tag titles, which will be another accolade, she's gone through everything and everyone. So what's the best option? Unify the titles under one person. Charlotte Flair. Now, am I going to be happy about this? No. Because look what's going on. Bianca Belair is not doing anything in the main roster at all. They called her up. She was with the Street Profits, and now you don't see her at all. What's going on with Ripley? Shouldn't she be trying to get the title back? As far as I know, I could be wrong. She has not tried to get another match with Charlotte. Mia Yim, Jade from Impact Wrestling, she went up against Charlotte and she lost. Why are they destroying their women for Charlotte Flair? Easy, because she's Charlotte Flair. So when it comes down to it, this is what I believe may happen. And I don't know if it's because of the pandemic. This could be not about the pandemic. This could be to give Charlotte the best option, because Vince believes, and I believe this is what Vince is thinking, right now I need to do something special. We need to unify the titles somehow. We need to unify the women's title in a way that is unlike anything. NXT and SmackDown and Raw, about to say Impact. Because if she could, she'd go to Impact Wrestling, and then Tessa Blanchard would have a problem. Both of them are second generation. I wouldn't want to see Tessa go up against Charlotte for nothing. Particularly that Charlotte would hurt Tessa because Tessa's a better wrestler and Charlotte is too sloppy. But you get my point. And Vince is going to say, you know what? I know what I want. I want to have one title that is united through all the brands. That one person go to all the brands, including maybe superstars, including main event, Charlotte Flair. Just like her dad. He had every title from the different promotions. The only one who's had more titles than him is Jerry Lawler, because he went to all the promotions and he got 125 shots and 125 times that he become champ, compared to Rick, who's had the title, generally speaking, about almost 20 times. I know it's around 17, but if you count a couple other times where there have been some maybe intercontinental titles or any other type of mid-card titles, he had to get them. So I would say easily beyond 20 titles he's ever had in his life, not counting the world title or WWE title and the WCW title. But I'm being honest here. I'm thinking that Vince, because of the pandemic, or because he just wanted to try something different because the fans are not interested, he believes because Charlotte is a Flair and people love Rick and always go, woo, that they will be interested in his progeny becoming the first undisputed women's champion of WWE. That's what I think he's thinking. Now, I could be 100% wrong, and Charlotte will not win the title off of Asuka. Because, I'm sorry for the noise, guys, but if this is true, I would be shocked I wouldn't be shocked if Charlotte does win against Asuka, and then in time, because Asuka could drop the title around SummerSlam, and then maybe by Survivor Series, if they have it, you're going to have Bayley go up against Charlotte, who already hold the NXT and the Raw title, to try and unify them. Trying to best Becky, because she was the first woman to ever hold 2 titles of SmackDown and Raw. I believe she's going to be besting her because she's going to hold SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. If this happens, you're going to have more of Charlotte. They will push her even more because she will be the first woman to go across every brand of WWE's umbrella. She will be on Raw. She will challenge women on Raw. She will be on SmackDown, challenge women on SmackDown. She will go to NXT and challenge every woman on NXT because she will have the WWE Unified title, which will allow her to go anywhere she wants at any time. And guess what? If Charlotte ever loses that title, they will break all 3 titles back up again, and they will go back to the way they were before because Charlotte isn't there. This is what I believe will happen. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but this is just my point of view. But you guys tell me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!